Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M44, the Tier 6 American SPG, and we're on the south spawn of Serene Coast. And this particular one is being commanded by Kento. And we can see it says Sudden Strike on the side of his vehicle. Yeah, the M44 does tend to have that effect, and he's got Last Stand on the other side. Okay, battle's underway. And Kento's moving to his firing position. Now, some people may not actually realise. Oh, you're getting in the way. Okay, some people may not realise, but the British Army actually had some M44s. It was actually put into use and put under the nomenclature Cardinal. Obviously, the British used to name their Artys after clerical positions. And so this one became the Cardinal. Okay. And he's into his firing position and looking for targets straight away. And he's found one. It's an OI experimental. He's fired a round in. And unfortunately the OI turned at the last second. He expected it to move straight on, but it didn't. He's got another target, but he's got a red line. And that indicates that mountain's in the way. So he's going to have to move across the railway lines to get a shot in there. Doesn't have to move very far. Oh! That's better. Adjusts his aim. Unfortunately, that 2801 is hiding behind that rock very nicely. He's firing around in anyway. Oh, and he stuns him. And he gets some splash points. Only 26, but that reminds that 2801 that he can be seen and he can be hit. And the great thing about the M44 is it's got a very fast fire rate every 16 seconds. Right, that 2801 was doing a bit of early scouting. He's going to have to put enough lead because it's a fast moving tank. Oh, he does! Perfect! And he actually tracks him in position, just come halfway out the water. He got 108 hit points of damage on him. With a good crew, you can fire every 16 seconds in the M44. And that makes it a firm favourite amongst the Arty players. It's also the fact that it has got a very wide field of fire, and that comes from the fact that the gun is mounted in a swivel turret, a swivel mount rather, and he's going after that OI experimental again, and a lovely one right on the front. That's going to give the driver a headache. He's going to need the aspirin now. M44 has been spotted. Priority target. It's moving. He obviously knows his sixth sense must have gone off. He's trying to get out of there, and oh, Kento fires a round in, and it took a long time to arrive. Unfortunately, he missed. But I think he's following where it went. Now, that T-67, another priority target. It's hiding in the bush. It's probably still going to be there. Rounds out. He fires a round in, and he killed it! He got him. He stayed in the bush, and he received a 155mm blessing from the Cardinal. Okay, Archer. The British tank destroyer that fires backwards. Okay, he's dialing in the aim. That heavy tank is going swimming. You're not supposed to go swimming. He splashes the ground right in front of him. Oh dear, oh dear. The Archer's trying to get out of there, but he's got the heavy tank in the way. T-29 poking his nose around the corner, trying to get some shots in. And Kento fires a round in, and oh, stuns him. Reminds him that he can be seen. He's going to go for the heavy tank. It's a lot of tanks fighting around this area. The Archer's gone down. Can he put a shell into the heavy tank? I'm pretty sure. Rounds out. No, he's moved forward. And he gets a hit! 155. I thought he'd moved too far forward, but the round just was right onto the side of him. Right, A43. Facing off against our heavy tank number 6 and takes him out. Now, can he get the round into the A43? I think so. Oh, RMG made the round fall onto the rock, so he's missed that one. The A43 is trying to outflank the KV-1, and the T-29 is coming around the other side. He's going to get outflanked. KV-1 won't last. Yep, he's gone. But there's a huge number of tanks, and he gets a lovely hit there on the A43, 187. There's a huge number of tanks at this end of the map, though, who are going to be spotting those tanks. And that's going to give Kento a really good opportunity to whittle them away one by one as they try to approach. But there's an M4 popped up from the bowl on the west side of the map. And it's only a T-67 to stop him, so he fires around in and takes out the M4 completely. Wipes him out. But we did lose the Panzer IV-H, who was on the west side of the map at that point. Okay, I think he's trying to angling for a splash hit, but the heavy tank number 6 can be seen over the other side of the map. Or is he going to look for the enemy Arty? No, he's going to go for this side of the map. And we've lost sight of them temporarily, so he's going to relocate. But he hasn't decided to move very far because there's no eye experimental. The same one he hit before. And he gets another lovely hit. 157 hit points. 2 critical hits. I think one of those might be one of his crew members. Now work out where he's got to go. He's got to go through that bush. If he's circumventing that rock. Rounds out. Okay, no indication if he actually hit it. He knocks the tree down, which I wouldn't approve of normally because it gives away your position. But he is moving far enough away from that tree so it not to be a worry. It's only if you knock a tree down and stay there that you really need to be worried about that. Okay, he's getting in a position so he can hit the enemy on the other side. Okay, there's the KV-1 round out. It was a snapshot, but he got a splash. So it was worthwhile. 83 hit points, 2 critical hits. And that round came in from the AMX-13F3, but unfortunately it just hit the rock face. Kento's going to be ready to go any second. Now, I'm not sure if that did any damage, but he's relocating. It's a wise decision actually, because what he can do, if he can get it to the west side of the map, because there's no enemy on the west side of the map, and there's nobody threatening him, and the enemy's bound to come to the cap, except that our experimental has crossed the railway line. Now that's a bit awkward, but he got around into him all the same. 134, so he's going to pull back because I think he was spotted, and when he fired that round, and that was a round from the enemy M44, I'm pretty sure. Okay, just his aim, going for the T29. He's the other side of that pass. Cromwell B's defending it one side, but the Cromwell B's got an OI experimental coming up behind him. There's the OI. He's going to cross the railway line, I think. Now, can Kento put a round into him? Oh, he wipes him out! 235 hit points. Great shot right into the side. Completely devastated that. So you've protected that Cromwell B from being outflanked and receiving some unwanted butt sex. Oh, what happened there? Now, I think he hit something in between him and the target. No, I think it was the railway that he actually hit. It wasn't showing up as red lines, so I suspect he accidentally hit the railway carriages. I think he can actually move slightly further up the map, but he's going to stay here and try and fire shells through the pass. There's a T28 HTC the other side of it now. Okay, round out. Oh, big hit! I thought that did some damage, but it actually landed and splashed him. He didn't actually do any damage other than stun him. Would you believe it? Now, what can he see? Ah, there was the heavy tank number 6 trying to do a flanking maneuver, trying to come round the south. So there's Stug 3s there. Okay, Kento's making a move slightly further north. The heavy tank has taken out the... actually, it was the enemy Fifi has taken out the Stug 3. So moving over here will actually give him a better angle on his own cap. So if the enemy does make it into the cap, he should still be able to fire rounds into it with safety. That should be about it. The enemy's not going to come over looking over here because they've already cleared this area. Okay, T-28 is in the entrance to the pass, and he's just been hit by 121 hit points. It's T-28 versus T-28. Except the only problem is that T28 is going to be outflanked by a T29. There's the heavy tank number 6, and he can fire on that one. Rounds out. And it's a kill shot! 146 hit points and his 4th kill. The power of the 155mm howitzer, it really is quite devastating. Now he's repositioning further south just to get a better angle on that T28. I think he's been pushed back through the pass because he didn't want to face the T28 HTC on our side. There he is. Is he trying flanking? No, he's just backing away. Now the enemy's still got 2 Artys. They've got an M44 and they've got a Fifi, the 105 FH 18B2. Now I wonder if Kento's going to try and get even further north so he can actually shoot behind the pass. And there's the T29. He did do a flanking manoeuvre and he's come around the back of the HTC and he's taken him out. Oh, this is going to be bad now. There's still 4 minutes 22 seconds left to go on the clock, and now all that's left alive is Kento in the M44 and the MX-13AM. Now the 13AM has only got a 10.5cm howitzer, so it would take a lot of shots for him to damage the enemy vehicles. But the question is, are the enemy going to come after the Arty? Are they hunting the Arty, or are they going to cap? No, there's only that T29. There's the enemy M44. And he shotguns him beautifully. That's the other thing about the M44. It does shotgun rather well. I know, I've done it myself as well. But that was a beautiful one from Kento. It was a snapshot. He just turned and bang. And that M44 went down. Maybe the other player wasn't that good at that sort of shotgun, but Kento did that absolutely perfectly. Now, I think Kento's going to go after the enemy Fifi. He's going to try and take out the 105 FH 18B2. If he can find him, he's a slow mover. Unfortunately, he's got a heavy tank hull, and that means he might be a little more difficult to kill. You see, the M44 is built on a light tank hull. It's built on the hull of an M41, the Walker Bulldog. But the Fifi is built on the hull of the B1, the Char B1. That's the French heavy tank. So it's a little more robust. And he's looking for him in all the places, but I think he's on the peninsula. Okay, so he started a cap. Now, the question is, what's Kento going to do? He could drive back on this side of the cap and try and run back and do a shotgun into the enemy. They could try to both cap out at the same time, but he needs his teammate to come into the cap, and then he needs to fire on the enemy cap and try and get some hits. But it's going to be very difficult if that enemy is hiding behind the rock face, and I'm pretty sure he will be by now. Yep, they're a little way behind, because even with 2 in their cap, has the enemy got his Fifi nearby? Yes, he has. He's in the cap, and they're both racing each other now. So they're going to have to both keep repositioning, because I'm sure the Fifi will try to fire into this cap to get a reset, which means we should see the enemy tracer. But they're both going to have to keep repositioning every now and then. And no, they both capped together, and it's a draw. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, let's have a look at the end of battle stats for this one. Well, it was an ace tanker for Kento. He did a fantastic amount of work during that battle. He really was working very, very hard indeed. But sadly, it was a draw. Let's have a look. He got an ace tanker. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 20 in that one. He also got a fighter badge because he managed to get at least 4 kills. He got 5. He got a Gore's medal. He did more damage, exceeding 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he got a high caliber. He dealt the most damage in the battle, at least 20% of the enemy hit points. And we can see the sheer number of tags that he hit. He was working very, very hard indeed. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, 2,299 hit points, way more than the Fifi, who was the highest scorer on the enemy team. But he also got the highest number of kills, 5. And when it came to base XP, he's only showing 691, but that's because this was a draw, not a win. So it's basically the same score as if you'd lost the battle. But you can see this is much higher than the Fifi, or the enemy one, which is the T29 actually, not the Fifi. When it came to detailed report, well, he fired 27 rounds, got 10 direct hits, 10 penetration, 9 splash, did damage of 2,299 hit points, of which 1,650 were at more than 300 meters, which shows a lot of his shots were very close to the enemy, the OI experimental and the heavy tank number 6 that he took out. He hit 10 of the enemy, 2/3 of the enemy team, and killed 1/3 of the enemy team, 5 tanks. He also did stun assistance damage of 477 hit points and caused 14 stuns. Caused by 14 stuns. He also managed to get 55 capture points in the cap. He received 28,031 credits, and he also received 3,671 credits extra for the Achievements Award, or what's called Courageous Resistance, because he managed to get an Epic or Battle Medal in a losing team, or a drawing team, that is. So his total came to 31,702 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he still had 18,051 credits, which is a decent score for any losing team. In fact, it's a very good score. He received 691 XP, and he got the Achievements Award there for 413, so his total came to 1,104, and again, that would have been a good score even if it was a winning team. So, I think really when it came down to it in the end, the problem was that their Fifi had actually driven all the way down the peninsula, and because Kento couldn't go down that route because the T29 was in the way and in the cap, there was no way for him to spot the enemy Fifi and kill it off. Really, to be honest, given the shortness of the length of time that was left, it probably would have been impossible for Kento to make a run all the way back to his own cap, driving at full speed, whilst his own other teammate in the AMX 105 just sat in the cap and capped. Because if he'd actually done that, the enemy would have got their Fifi into the cap within time, but Kento might have turned up at the cap in enough time to shotgun the T29, reset the cap on the other end, and that would have allowed his team to win. I only say that because actually during that battle I thought that's what Kento was going to do, but in actual fact what he did is he and the AMX 13105 actually just jumped into the cap, and 2 of them capped together, and unfortunately the Fifi got there just in time to allow both bases to be captured simultaneously. So it was a draw, but it was a very valiant draw by Kento because he got some fantastic shots in there, and he did work exceedingly hard, and so he did deserve to get the highest score and the high caliber. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.